I love when inspiration strikes. I was just driving and a thought came in that felt inspired, and I'm like, I want to make a video. It happened so out of nowhere so quickly, and it's such an exhilarating, playful, just like excited feeling. Um, and I don't know why some thoughts spark this like urge to share in this way, and some don't. But when it does, there's this certain quality to it that feels like I'm so alive, and something wants to come to life as me, um, in a way that can be witnessed. So the thought I just had was that so much of our pain and suffering may come down to the thought that we don't want what's happening. My imagining is that we want everything that's happening on some level from an expanded perspective. Um, and an idea I've come across from multiple sources is that our emotions are a guidance system that tell us if we're in or out of alignment with our truth. So I had this thought that when I'm feeling what I might call negative emotion, when I'm just not feeling very good in my body, how much of that is because I think something's happening or something is going to happen or might happen that I don't want. And that the fact that that belief hurts, the fact that I'm hurting might be because I'm believing that that's possible. And it's out of alignment with truth for me, at least. So, because every time I go to the opposite and I think, no, I want this, I want what's happening, something in me seems to soften and relax. And I imagine it as an alignment with truth, as a remembering. I feel some peace even now, just feeling into it and saying it. Peace, I would say, is an indicator of truth for me. It seems like fear can largely be summarized that way. Something can happen that I don't want to happen. Because if we really believed that everything that happened is something that we wanted, what would change? It sounds to me like a carefree existence. And I imagine from that carefree space that life would just feel like this magical dance. And that it would continue to reflect to us all this beauty, even if it's in situations that we might experience suffering or imagine suffering. How much of suffering comes down to this? To wanting something different than what's happening from a certain perspective, not realizing that from another perspective, we do want it. I remember a quote from Jeff Foster that says something like, all suffering can be boiled down to this. I want to control this moment, but I cannot. And I imagine control coming from thinking that there's something that might happen that we don't want. Because if we didn't imagine things that way, why would we ever want to control anything? We might still want to choose preferential experiences, but we wouldn't be so afraid of the experiences not going the way we choose, because we would imagine that there must be an expanded us making choices, that the choices that we think we want from this perspective just aren't actually going to serve us as much as those other choices do. It seems to be the case, right? So often we Like maybe I want a relationship, but then in the period of not having the relationship, I look back on it and see how much juice and value there was in that time alone. A thought I often have is that I want more money, but I also see the value of being in a situation where I don't have much income, really any lately, and all that comes up in response to that, and all the ways that it puts me in touch with how I don't feel safe in the world, and allows me to engage with those energies in ways that softens that experience, so I don't live in as much fear. So then I realize it actually kind of makes sense that I would want this, that I would want these experiences. I feel like ultimately what I'm wanting is liberation from fear. And sometimes the path to that seems to be to engage with the fear, not to have a situation that allows me um, to not have the fear in my experience. And to learn to value the fear and appreciate the fear. My imagining is that so much of this human adventure is about recognizing beauty and love and innocence in the places that we don't yet. And fear seems like a good place to start. I wonder if the camera can see my breath. It's a cold morning. It got down to like 1 degree last night, Fahrenheit. So I'm having fun playing with my breath, watching it. I could be like, I don't want it to be cold. Really? I seem to be having fun with it. Okay, I think that's all for now. Bye bye.